Well, what's up, YouTube? Memphis Mike. How's everybody doing? Well, I'm doing great today. It's a Monday. And went out over the weekend. And then you saw my vid not too long ago. I told everyone I had NMS. New Motorcycle Syndrome. For those of you that don't follow the channel, I also have a 2008 Honda Goldwing, a 2002 Shadow Sabre, and I had NMS, and I've been looking at a new bike. And this particular bike, I fell in love with it the very first time I rode it. The dealer actually let me take it for a test ride, and I took it out, and let me tell you, I absolutely fell in love with it. And I've been torturing myself for 6 or 7 weeks, and had the money saved up. Shoot, I've been selling things off. So I could get this thing. Fell in love with it. It's a bare bones, plain and simple ride, and I just love the styling. And you've already seen the bike before in one of my vids, but let me just show you here what we got. The 2014 Honda CB 1100. Yep, Honda CB 1100, 2014 model. Man, the retro brought back new. The retro brought back new. I don't know what it was about this bike, but I absolutely fell in love with it when I test rode it. I fell in love with it, man. Them old school, man, that 4-into-1 exhaust right there. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving this bike. I mean, it's just a plain and simple, plain Jane bike. But I took this thing out for a test ride. And like I say, I fell in love with this machine. And you know what? I beat myself up over it trying to figure out, man, should I get it? Should I not get it? Should I sell the Shadow to get it? What should I do? And I thought, you know what? My next door neighbor finally prodded me. He said, man, you've been tormenting yourself over this thing. Just go out and buy the damn thing and get it over with. So I thought, you know what? Good idea. So I went out and I got it. And there she is. I think she's beautiful. Black, my favorite color for a motorcycle. They made this in a red version. In 2013, the 2014 model, they came out with 6 gears on this thing. They came out with 6 gears on this bike. And when I test rode it, man, I just loved it. I've been doing reviews, looking up reviews on it. YouTube, what people like about it, what people don't like about it. Gosh, that's what has fixed my new motorcycle syndrome. Yep. You know, I've been talking about new bikes off and on for quite a bit. Even test rode a Harley Street Glide. I really had no intention of buying that bike. It was a demo day. Test rode a FJR 1300, and I did like that. I really did. It was more money than I really wanted to spend, though. So I went out and got this thing, and over the weekend, I've been hitting a few back roads, a few twisties on this thing, and just trying to get the feel of the bike. And let me tell you, I'm in love with this thing. I am in love with this thing. I mean, I love the upright seating position. I really like it much more than my Shadow Sabre. It kind of just sits more upright. And one thing that concerned me, no windshield. Now, they do make windshields, but I don't want some kind of, really big windshield that will take away from the look. So I will possibly add what's called the Comet fairing, I believe. I'll probably add that to it. This bike is just a plain Jane bike. No ABS brakes on this bike, but these brakes will stop on a dime. My goodness, it will stop on a dime. Just standard suspension. The ride is a little bit soft, not a real stiff ride. Although I'm going to work on tightening up the rear shocks, maybe a little bit stiffer. What else about this bike? Basically the controls are pretty much laid out. Horn, turn signals right here. No self-canceling turn signals. Horn right there. It does have hazard buttons on the bike. The display has a gear indicator. I've never had a bike with a gear indicator. Not that I really feel like I need one, but it's kind of cool, I guess, to have it. 6 gear. This bike will be just a fun touring around bike to have. That's all. Not a touring bike. I really can't see myself taking this thing on the interstate, especially with no windscreen right now. Surprisingly, if I compare this bike to my Shadow without the windscreen, for some reason the Shadow really seems to beat me up with the air. But this bike is really not too bad. I mean, it's not that bad. And I can say there's nothing fancy about this bike at all. Nothing fancy. No navigation, no radio, no cruise control, nothing like that. But it's just a great little ride. And in the display, you've got a trip meter. It also kind of displays your average of your miles per gallon. It does have a small gas tank. That concerns me. 3.9 gallons, I believe, is the fuel capacity. However, it looks like I can average anywhere from, I don't know, almost 40 miles a gallon, maybe even better at times, as far as fuel. Right now, it's showing like 49.8 miles per gallon. So, I might be able to get 160 miles out of a tank, which is really about what my Sabre gets out of it. Now, of course, the Gold Wing, I can get 225 miles out of that thing. I'm in love with the bike. I know some of you may not have the wow factor, but I tell you, this bike wowed me. I don't know what it is. I just like the old retro styling. Kind of reminds me of the Nighthawks back in the 80s, which that's a bike I always loved. This bike's it's got a tachometer on it and everything. Shows their RPMs. The brakes will this bike will stop on a dime on brakes. I mean, even though it's not ABS, it's also chain driven. I haven't had a chain driven bike since 1985, so that'll be a little bit learning again of how to adjust the chain, how to clean a chain, and so forth. But I'll tell you what, with that chain, when you hit that throttle, buddy, that power to that rear wheel is there. This thing will go. What will I do to the bike? Well, one thing, I do have to get a little bit of storage. I think I'm just going to put a tail bag on it. I don't want saddlebags on it. I don't want to take away from the look of the bike. This is not a touring bike. That's it. Just an in-town commuter, and hit some of these back roads like I'm on right now. Right out, just a few miles from my house. The exhaust, I probably will change that out. This bike is really quiet. It is really quiet. So I need a little noise. I need a little bit of noise. So, but I don't want it to be obnoxious loud, but I'm looking for a good kind of sport bike tone from something. Maybe a Two Brothers, or I don't know. We'll just have to investigate exhaust. It's air cooled. I haven't had an air cooled bike in forever. I don't know if that'll be an issue or not. I really don't. To be honest, I on the bike right now, you know what? I can't tell if it's You know, I couldn't tell you if it was any difference of water cooled or even shaft drive. I always wondered about a chain drive. This bike to me just kind of feels, you know, it's not really a sport bike. It has sport bike-like qualities, but it's just your basic standard motorcycle. And that's what I was after. I don't know. I may bore fast with this thing. Who knows? But you know what? When you got that itch, sometimes you just got to go for it. You just got to go for it. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do. So I'm digging it. It's my new 2014 CB1100, the standard version, 4-into-1 exhaust. I love it. I love it. I appreciate you watching YouTube. Thanks so much.